Please be advised, viewer discretion is strongly recommended. None of the content presented here has been exaggerated or taken out of context. What you're about to hear includes the exact statements from the prosecution rebuttal after the defense's closing arguments in the federal trial against Sean Diddy Combs. In today's video, you'll hear the prosecution's team rebuttal after the defense team's final attempt to persuade the jury. Some language has been censored to comply with YouTube's guidelines. This is a voiced-over reading of real courtroom dialogue based on live reporting from courtroom journalist InnerCityPress on X.com. All parties are presumed innocent until proven guilty. Listen at your own discretion.
It's time for the prosecution's final word. The rebuttal begins now.
He brought up conduct that hasn't been charged and said Mr. Combs was being targeted. We request curative instructions.
Then the judge turns to Combs' lawyer and tells him, "You should have phrased it differently," but you went on to focus on lack of a conspiracy, and asks him, "What about the targeting charge? How is that not improper?"
No one went to law enforcement and complained. It's fair comment.
He said what he said. Targeted. It's improper. A curative instruction is required. They made the argument pre-trial, and they lost. This was inappropriate.
Before the jury returned, the judge said he would add a reminder to the jury instructions that they must focus only on whether the government proved each charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Despite the defense asking to delay it until Monday, the judge decided to deliver the instruction immediately. When the jury returned, he told them directly that any claims about Mr. Combs being targeted were not for them to consider. Then, the prosecution resumed.
The defendant did not take no for an answer. Certainly not from his girlfriends. He beat them. They suggest he didn't pay for sex, that there was no enterprise, and that the witnesses lied. But he flew a worker across the country to have sex with Cassie and Jane while he married. It was not for their conversation. It was for sex. Remember Daniel Phillip? He said he got paid for sex. When he had performance issue, he stopped getting paid. The Punisher? $500 when no sex. Thousands when sex. I suspect you'll hear that uncalled witnesses were equally available to both sides. Maybe some of these men would have worked for free, having sex in front of the masked celebrity. But they got paid. The defendant is guilty of counts 3 and 5. An enterprise can have unlawful and lawful purposes. KK? Uncalled witnesses are equally available to both sides. Did they agree to at least 2? Yes. Quick hits. The kidnapping is corroborated by Kid Cudi. He said, "She was forced to go along with them." Mr. Agnifilo said Mr. Combs is a fists guy. Sure, when it is his girlfriends. With men, he needs guns. The London hotel? He made Cassie go after he stomped on her face. She wasn't allowed to go home to her mom. That is a kidnapping. The arson? Somehow the glove fell of someone's childlike hand. He said he would do it, and he did. Cassie said it. Eddie Garcia, he believed he could not go to the police under the agreement. And Combs said, "Watch out how you spend it." Bribery. This is guy that can't get his own water bottle or plug in his own phone charger. He's the general. He delegates. KK knows the Wild King nights involved escorts. The only reason he needs thousands of dollars in hotel rooms is to pay escorts. KK reads all of Combs's texts, so she knew. KK alone make Combs guilty of count 1. Drugs. Mr. Agnifilo talked about conspiracy to distribute. But given drugs to Cassie and Jane is distribution, that is enough. Mr. Agnifilo claims they wanted it. The defense's theory is that Cassie wanted to be urinated on, that Jane wanted to have sex with Anton after being beaten, and Mia wanted to be penetrated, that Cassie and Jane wanted to spend days in oil with UTIs and high heels, strange men. Mia said no. Cassie said no on her 29th birthday. Jane said no before Anton after being beaten. These women, stage whisper, had no reason to lie. The defense say it's for money, but Cassie already got paid. If Cassie were lying and already got paid, why would she take the chance of perjury in a federal trial? This is a woman standing up for what is right. Mia already settled in mediation. There's no reason for her to put on a show for you. Jane doesn't intend to sue. These women refused to let trauma swallow up their whole lives. That struggle tells you these women told the truth. They broke free of the defendant's manipulation. Jealousy is not a defense to sex trafficking. Jane picking out Cabral and Anton was her way of taking back some control. Yes, she texted escorts. Sometimes he told her. Sometimes she knew he would ask. She felt she had no choice. That's coercion. The defendant did hit Cassie during freakouts. Cassie said it, Daniel Phillip told you. And it's on video. The defendant was in a towel. The freakout was not over. There's no separating the violence and the sex. Remember when Cassie OD'd in a hotel room in Long Island and they still had the freak-off? When Jane performed oral sex on Anton after Combs beat here? That was trafficking. Mr. Agnifilo said Cassie won a prize. What prize? Sex with a UTI? Getting urinated in her mouth? It's ridiculous. They had a trauma bond. They were trapped. The cost of trapping them was a drop in the bucket for Mr. Number 1 on the Forbes list. He pushed her to continue after she vomited. He knew she didn't want to. The Intercontinental? They claim he was intoxicated, that it was about a phone. He knew what he was doing. He kicks her. She calls security, so he stays to keep control of her. I want to be clear. They called Anton because he was the only repeat player in LA. They stopped with Cabral after he tried to extort Jane. Whatever words he used about a conspiracy between Jane and Anton, there is no evidence for it. He coerced Cassie and Jane into this, and nothing happened. He raped Mia, and nothing happened. He beat Cassie, and nothing happened. He beat Cassie in hotel on tape, then bribed the guards to buy it, and nothing happened. He was untouchable. He did not think these women would speak, and that Kid Cudi and Deontay Nash and other men would back them up. The defendant is not a god. He stands equal before the law. Find him guilty.
And that was it for court today. The judge dismissed the jury until Monday, when they'll return to begin deliberations. The courtroom will also be preparing the exhibit list and laptop the jury will use to review evidence. With closing arguments now complete, we're officially entering the final phase of the Diddy trial, and the verdict could come at any time once deliberations begin. If you want to stay up to date on the final developments, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next update.